company. It's basically, I'm the owner and funder and designer, so it's a real small company, and we're trying to keep our prices low and get some volume. So I appreciate any support that anyone's got out there, and trying to get some good tone out for people that's affordable.
All right, boys and girls, welcome back. Tone King here, coming at you live from the Tone Lounge. I have something really new, something really exciting, something really special up here for you today. I know you always hear that, but you've never seen this, right? Unless you join my live webcast, where I had an opportunity to interview the owner and the designer of this 4-Force EM-1 amp. This is like the latest craze. They're very affordable amps. They won Best of NAMM show the first year they went to NAMM. This is, a very unique designed amp. Very light, very portable. It's got a 1x10. It's got this like enclosure which makes it light. It's ported on the back. Got this steel metal grill in the front. It's a solid state amp. Again, it's priced very, very affordably. 5-watt, 1x10. Straightforward controls, and I'm going to walk you through it today in this demo.
The list price is $129, and the street price, the map price that we want is $119, $118.
So for about $120, you get all of this.
Yeah. So if you go on Musician's Friend, the price is $119 with free shipping. So we're getting real popular with Musician's Friends, so that's really cool. But that was the intent. I've been in the electronic industry a long time, and you look at most electronics over time, it's been dropping in price. But guitar amplifiers, I think, for the good ones that sound good, they haven't really moved. And I thought there was a nice market opening for something that is a really nice analog guitar amp, great sound, in that price point.
Basically, what we have over here, we have real simple controls. We have an input, a bass, middle, treble, gain, a volume, and an output, so that output could drive a cabinet, like whatever cabinet you have, a 1x12, 2x12, 4x12, the 10 inches, the whole bit. In this particular case, I have it going through, right now you got to hear the 1x10, but I'm also going to plug in with this cable right over here. I'm going to plug in a 2x12 that has vintage 30s in it, so you could hear what this beast could do. And it also accepts pedals real well in the front. Overall, it's just a great little amp, and again, it's priced very affordably. Let me give you some quick spec on it. 5 watts, 1x10, volume gain, treble, middle, bass, input, speaker, output. The power requirement, this is something that came up on the webcast. It goes from 100 to 250 volt. So if you have like the black cord for your country, it'll work.
The design, the power supply I use in there,
okay,
automatically detects what power. So it'll go, Japan's kind of the lowest in the world, and at 100 volts, and it'll go to 240, 50 hertz, 60 hertz. You just have to change the power cord. And it has a universal power cord on the back.
Okay.
So, so we're good to go.
With that said, I'm using the Chapman Cap 10. Let's just kind of go through the dials. Right now, I'm miking up the 1x10 with the E609, and then when I plug in, I have the 2x12 mic'd up. That said, enough talking. Let's start rocking. Check it out. Keep your eyes on the dial. right, so that's the amp. You got to hear it cleaned up a little bit. I rolled the gain back. Now let's plug in the 2x12, which is, I'll be honest with you, it's probably my favorite feature because this thing screams with the 2x12. Again, if you have, you got this like oversized handle, very durable. They have some videos, just YouTube search them. They have this thing dropping off a 6-foot ladder, which is wild and crazy all at the same time. But it holds up, like it won't crack like a wood cabinet would. So very durable, very light, oversized handle, very simple controls. And again, check the interview because even the owner said that the input of this, see, a lot of amps, especially solid state amps, typically don't like pedals. There's a lot of clipping. It doesn't like heavily loaded inputs. This here, I forget what the exact spec on it, but he said the input can take a boatload of pedals and all that without really affecting the amp negatively at all.
This amp, a lot of amps are very picky at what you put into it. Mm-hmm. This amp will take, like 50 volts. If you put 50 volts of signal into this amp, you'll just get a nice distorted sound. Because a lot of the pedals will output, 12 volts or, a lot of power. Mm-hmm. And so I designed it knowing that people were going to jam a lot of power into this thing. And then what happens is the preamp starts distorting, and I start distorting, one side of the signal, and then the second side, and then the next stage, and the next stage. So it comes in nice and gradual, mm-hmm. and that way you can stay, in that spot of doing that.
Also, something he did say in the interview, and again, that link is below. He did say that basically he took a design of a tube amp and replaced it with as few components as possible to make it sound like that tube amp. I think he said like a handful of, I don't remember if it was transistors or resistors or maybe both. But again, he went for the minimalist approach, whereas, you open up a lot of solid state amps and there's like thousands of components in it. This one is very, very minimalist.
I'm an electronics person, so I've been into electronics my whole life, and that's where my expertise is. And that's kind of how I started building the amp. And one of the reasons it sounds really good is I use very few components. So I'm a bit of an audiophile. So in that amplifier, there are literally only 5 transistors, right? A lot of amps will have thousands or, microprocessors or whatever.
Okay.
This is pure analog, and it's just 5 transistors in there. So it's very unique from that perspective. And what I've done, before I built this amp, I built a bunch of tube amps, just, as a hobbyist and whatnot. And I took the tube amp design, and I literally just replaced the tubes with these transistors. And I used these special transistors they called JFETs.
Okay.
And they're some of the oldest kind of transistors out there. And they sound, electrically, they act a lot like a tube. So, that's a lot of why this amp sounds like a tube amplifier.
So with that said, 2x12, let's check it. Also, keep your eye on the toggle switch because I'm gonna toggle back and forth, and your ears could probably pick it up. But in case they can, and you wonder why it changed without me touching the amp, it's because I'm toggling between the pickups that come in the Cap 10. if I roll the dial back, it'll clean up nicely too. Go to my single coil. So there it is. I mean, we could unplug that, go back to the stock speaker in here, and you know, the 1x10, and same controls. Check it. Here's your little in-video shootout. So there it is. There's your 4.4 CM1 1x10. Very unique. You can't miss the design in this amp right here. Very unique. Again, it's got that real interesting three-dimensional enclosure. You can see over here how it tapers off. The speak. Oh, by the way, just like a 4x12 where the top is projecting upwards, that's so you can hear it. And this is, you know, in a little small combo amp, it's designed to do the same things, to project to you. You'd see in like a lot of old Fender amps, it has like the tilt back legs. You don't need it with that. And that's why, you know, for combo amps, you know, again, the expensive combo amps, they have those legs so you can hear the amp. Sometimes when the speaker's just going straight out, you miss that because the speaker's, you know, way too low and it's going straight out and you miss it. So this one here is designed to project to you.
Yeah, and you notice one of the things about the amp is we tilt the speaker. And that, you know, we've done a lot of tests. And, you know, one of our design goals was to keep the cost low. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I love, you know, some of the really high-end guitar speakers, and the Marshall 4x12 is like my favorite. But, you know, those speakers alone cost more than the amp, right?
Right.
So we did a bunch of testing with, you know, regular cabinets and all kinds of different configurations. And what we found is when you tilt that just slightly like that, mm-hmm. you get a lot better sound out of a very low-cost speaker.
Right.
And that's one of the nice, you know, design aspects. Plus, you don't have a lot of parallel surfaces. Mm-hmm. You know, when you get into a speaker and you get, you know, a parallel surface, you can start getting weird resonances and things like that. So that's something that came along with that whole design.
And again, for the price point, it's just got the whole thing going on. Very simple controls, input that handles pedals very well. Watch my live webcast playback. That link will be below. I was actually using Master Effects pedals to front end this, and it sounded badass. I was actually using it with the EM-1 hot rod. So check that out. It has the speaker output, a simple on-off switch, ported, design. And there's a couple of things you could do here, tweaking the controls to make it sound bigger. And I'll show you what some of those tricks are. It's really just a function of like rolling the treble back a little bit, playing around with the controls of your guitar and the amp. So let's experiment, and then we'll wrap the video up. Check it out. And if you also use the volume on your guitar, you can go from pretty crunchy rhythm or lead to really, it cleans up nicely. It just does not sound like a solid state transistor. It reacts pretty nicely. So check it. There it is, the EM-1 by 4-4 amps, brand new, priced very, very affordably. Click that link below. I'll leave a link where you could actually purchase it. Lightweight, 1x10, metal enclosure, metal grill, durable enclosure, oversized metal handle, simple controls, input to handle lots of pedals, speaker out. There it is. There's your review on something that's new, exciting, and special. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We dig it, and I certainly dig this here. I had it on the webcast, and it was a pleasure. And again, I was using pedals on that, so check that out. And also be sure to check out the interview with the owner. I had the owner up on the live webcast. And it was really a pleasure to talk with them. Small family company. And just trying to make a difference. This is a saturated market with lots to choose, and this is a game changer, right? If you can make something that is a good quality at a good price point, it's speaking to a lot of folks out there, and I think they accomplished that. So I'm happy and proud to show you this amp here today. So I'll leave you off with one of those bad boys right there. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time, you know the drill. Rock on. Later.
We're a very small, family-owned company. It's basically, I'm the owner and funder and designer, so it's a real small company, and we're trying to keep our prices low and get some volume. So I appreciate any support that anyone's got out there, and trying to get some good tone out for people that's affordable.